With day 3 of the NFL draft in the books, let's take a look at all the picks we made in rounds 4 through 7 and determine what we think of it. Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot today. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. I was going to try and have this video out earlier, but 17 hours worth of streaming over the last 3 days had me tapped out. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to all you guys that have tuned in and watched us through that whole process. It was a good time. But let's jump right into it. Let's start talking about some of the picks that we made. The Jets had three fourth-round picks to start off the day, and we started it off with pick 120, LAMICAL PERINE. Now, he's a running back from Florida. It's a position that I thought we'd address at some point in this draft. Le'Veon Bell's contract gets a little squirrely after this year. I think he's probably going to be cut after this season because we can save a lot of money. But regardless, we don't have Montgomery under contract. We don't have Bilal Powell under contract. And I don't believe Trent Cannon is really an answer for anyone. So at the very least, Perine will be a backup for Le'Veon Bell. He does have a similar running style to Bilal Powell where he's kind of a one cut and go running back. He bounces off a bunch of tackles. I really like him. I'm a fan of this move. I don't think it's necessarily a starting caliber running back, but I think it gives you a year to determine if you need a starting caliber running back in the event that you do decide to move on from Le'Veon Bell in 2021. So overall, I'm kind of fine with this selection. The next selection definitely had me scratching my head. James Morgan, the quarterback out of Florida International. That I didn't see coming. I thought we would take a quarterback because we need a backup at some point. I was thinking maybe 5th, 6th, 7th round, somewhere in there. So 4th round was a little bit rich for my taste on quarterback. There's rumors that the Patriots were looking to move up and get this guy. He's apparently a really smart player. Has a big-time arm. So backup-wise, I like it. To put it in perspective, he's going to get paid about $600,000 for this year of service. Brian Hoyer for the Patriots is getting about $1 million. If the Jets were to go out and get, say, like a Joe Flacco to be their backup, they'd probably be paying somewhere in the $7 to $12 million range, and the Jets just don't have enough cap space for that. So by going with a quarterback in the draft, at the very least, you're saving yourself a few bucks there. And one thing of note, Joe Douglas has won 2 of his 3 Super Bowls with backup quarterbacks. So don't discount the backup quarterback. I know Joe Douglas doesn't, so we should keep in mind that backup quarterback is going to be a need. Who knows? Maybe this guy develops into some flashy stats in the preseason over the course of the next few years. At the very least, we have a backup for Sam, but then who knows? The Washington Redskins took Kirk Cousins in the 4th round after selecting RG3 with the number 2 overall pick. So you could always potentially flip these players for more draft picks, or you just have a succession plan in the event that something with Sam goes sideways. So I don't mind the pick as much now. It was a little earlier than I would have liked, but if it kind of hits the Patriots in the gut and puts them in quarterback purgatory for another year, icing on the cake there. The next pick, final pick in the 4th round, pick 129, was Cameron Clark. And he's listed as a tackle, so I was originally a little confused by it because you took Becton in the 1st, you already signed Fant, you have Edoga that you took in the 3rd round last year. I know that wasn't a Douglas pick, but it seems like they're kind of high on him. So Clark sort of surprised me here. There were other players that I really liked that were on the board. Players like Biadaz, Gandy Golden, Bryce Hall, some of these players that I would have liked to have seen. But when I started doing a little bit of digging, apparently he's really close with Mekhi Becton, and they talk all the time. So not even just that, he does play all 5 positions across the line. So I think you're watching Douglas assemble an offensive line of a lot of versatile pieces, guys that can play multitude of different positions, so you're not screwed when someone gets injured or whatever. You want to put the best 5 linemen out in front of you. It sounds like Cameron Clark's going to get pushed over to guard, if I had to guess, which means Alex Lewis is on a 1-year deal. Most of us probably think Brian Winters is going to be out at some point this offseason. And then you have Van Roten. So you need a little bit of backup space or backup players there, a little bit more bodies on the line. I'm okay with this. I don't think it's anything crazy. Then we get into the 5th round. The 5th round, pick 158. I'm watching the players fall down the board, and forgive me, I don't remember the exact order of things, but I know Gandy Golden wound up going off the board and all these different picks and whatnot. But anyway, one of the players that I wanted in the 3rd round, a cornerback, Bryce Hall, we wound up selecting in the 5th round. So I am very, very happy with the value in this pick. I thought he was a round 2 potential caliber. The injuries I thought might have knocked him back to the 3rd round. We wound up getting him in the 5th round. So even if this winds up being a redshirt season for Bryce Hall, think Bless Austin. Bless Austin came in about halfway through the season, played really well. Hopefully we can see a full season out of him next year. But Bryce Hall could be one of those kind of sleeper picks that Jet fans should be pretty excited about. He played at Virginia. I think he's going to be pretty good. At the very least, we have some special teams depth and have a little bit more options on the cornerback front. My favorite pick of this day, as weird as it is pick 191, and that's BRADEN, MANN. He's a punter. Now, I really like Lachlan Edwards. I was hoping we would bring him back. I thought he played well. I thought he played at least at like a top 15 punter level. But this guy, BRADEN, MANN, has a monster leg. Do yourself a favor and go watch some highlights on this guy. This guy kicks like 70-yard punts. It's absolutely unreal. His one knock that people kind of say about him is that he outkicks his coverage. So for those of you that don't know what that means, he punts the ball too far, and the gunners on either side of the punt team cannot make it down to tackle the returner, or at least force him into a fair catch. So it's a little goofy of a con, but hey, you know what? If the Jets are stalling out on offense like we saw this past year, and you can boom the ball to the other end of the field, and now you're not worrying about, teams getting the ball at the 40-yard line and already being almost in field goal range. Special teams is really important, and we'll get into it a little bit more with the second or third, what are we on? Sixth round pick, second sixth round pick. I was hoping the Jets would kind of take a kicker. I didn't really know what we were going to do with our second sixth round pick. We wound up trading it to the Colts for Quincy Wilson. So a lot of fans wanted Rodrigo Blankenship. Hot Rod, we wanted to shore up that kicking position. And a lot of fans were like, oh, why didn't we just take Hot Rod? We could have had the best, quote-unquote, best kicker in the draft. And to that, I'll say kickers are so different from year to year. If they get in their own head, their average changes from season to season. So I don't mind bringing in camp bodies. I think Douglas is going to bring in kicking competition. We already have two with, was it Mayer and Ficken on the roster. So I'm all right not taking a kicker with that last sixth round pick. It would have been nice to have a rookie under 4 years of control, or 3 years or 4 years of control on a cheap deal. We wound up trading for Quincy Wilson. So Quincy Wilson is the cornerback from the Colts. This is now the third Colts cornerback that we have added. We had Hairston, Desir, and now Wilson. So the connection with Rex Hogan, our assistant general manager, is very strong. He's from Indianapolis. These players were brought in under his watch over there. So overall, third day of the draft, missed on some players that I really would have liked. I would have liked to have seen us double dip at wide receiver. I thought this was a really deep wide receiver draft, and I think we missed an opportunity to double dip there. I do think that could mean that we have more hope in Josh Doxson, that we got, former first-round pick, and Vincent Smith. I like Vincent Smith a lot, so I'm okay with giving them a little more options. I'm not entirely sold on PERINE. I think injuries are a little bit of a concern, which is why I would have liked to add like a Gandy Golden or a Peoples-Jones. Another player I would have liked to have seen us add was Tyler Biadasz or Curtis Weaver. Either one of those guys. He's, Biadasz, center or guard would have been a nice option, even if he sat a little bit as line depth. But Cameron Clark, if he winds up serving the same purpose, I'm okay with it. I did want to double dip at edge rusher, so a little disappointed there. I think it's tough to probably land a good swing on an edge rusher this late in the draft, so really not terrible. But Curtis Weaver, the dude had like 33 sacks in 35 games for Boise State, and he seemed unblockable. So the fact that he fell as far as he did, I think he wound up going to the 6th round, was a little surprising. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how the Jets draft turned out. I'd give it a solid B overall. There's not too many things I would have liked to have done differently. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to break down all these players more in depth in individual videos, especially since I'm going to have a bunch of time on my hands. So let me know who you guys want to see. Who did you want in the draft? Who did we not take in the draft that you did want? Let me know of everything down in the comments below. And as always, go Jets.